There are forces in life that cannot be measured or touched, yet they shape our entire existence. We cannot see the wind, but we watch the trees bow to its movement. We cannot hold love in our hands, but we feel it transform even the heaviest heart. In the same way, when two souls destined to meet finally cross paths, there is an energy invisible yet undeniable that fills the air between them. Dolores Cannon often spoke of this subtle energy in her sessions. Her clients described it as an atmosphere, a vibration, a current that seemed to awaken something sleeping within. It was not the rush of ordinary attraction. It was not simply liking someone's smile or voice. It was deeper, like remembering a song you had forgotten, yet somehow knew by heart. This energy is quiet, but powerful. It doesn't need words, because it speaks in silence. Sometimes it feels like a soft warmth spreading through your chest. Other times, it is the sense that the whole world has shifted, as if time itself pauses to make space for this encounter. It is subtle, yes, but also undeniable. You may try to ignore it, but your soul has already recognized what your mind is still trying to understand. Think of it as a lantern being lit in the dark. The flame is small, almost delicate, yet the light it casts reaches far beyond itself. That is what this invisible energy does. It illuminates hidden places within you, parts of your soul you may have forgotten or denied. Suddenly, you feel more alive. Suddenly, you are aware of a deeper truth pulsing beneath the surface of life. This is why such encounters cannot be dismissed as coincidence. The energy itself is proof of something greater at work, a divine arrangement, a reminder that you are walking not only through a world of matter, but through a universe woven with meaning. And here lies the mystery. This energy does not come from the other person alone. It awakens because the other is a mirror, reflecting back what was always within you. The soul recognizes itself in the presence of its counterpart. The silent touch is not just between two people. It is the echo of one soul remembering its wholeness through another. So when you feel it, that invisible current, that quiet yet overwhelming spark, do not doubt it. It is the soul's way of saying, "Wake up, something sacred has begun." Every great fire begins with a spark. Not a roar, not a blaze, but the faintest flicker of light that dares to pierce the dark. When two souls meant for each other meet, that spark is felt instantly. It may not announce itself loudly. It does not need fireworks or grand gestures. Instead, it arrives in silence, in stillness subtle as a breath, yet powerful enough to rearrange the heart. Dolores Cannon's sessions often revealed that when twin souls recognize each other, the moment is less about discovery and more about remembrance. Clients described it as something waking up inside them. The feeling was familiar, though impossible to explain. They would say, "It was like I had known them forever. I couldn't remember from where, but I just knew." This first spark is not the ordinary rush of attraction that fades with time. It is not the excitement of novelty. Instead, it carries a strange weight, as if it had been waiting patiently for centuries. It is a meeting that feels scripted by something greater than chance, like a thread of destiny, finally tightening after lifetimes of being loose. The paradox of this spark is that it is both subtle and overwhelming. Subtle, because it might come through something small, a glance that lingers too long, a voice that resonates in your chest, the brush of a hand that leaves your skin buzzing. Overwhelming, because in that small moment, the soul recognizes itself. The mind may try to make sense of it, but the heart already knows. It is a whisper that feels louder than a shout. Imagine striking flint against stone. The spark is tiny, yet it carries the potential of a fire that can warm, transform, or consume. In the same way, this first meeting may feel fragile, but the power it awakens is anything but. It sets in motion a chain of changes that neither soul can fully anticipate. Old patterns begin to shake. Hidden wounds rise to the surface. Dormant dreams stir awake. Life, as it was, cannot remain the same. And yet, the spark itself asks for no effort. It is effortless, natural, as if the universe has done the work for you. That is why so many describe it as meant to be. You do not create it. You simply notice it, and once noticed, it cannot be forgotten. Even if the encounter is brief, even if the journey takes you apart, the spark remains in memory, glowing quietly like an ember that never burns out. This spark is not only about romance, it is about recognition. It is the soul's way of saying, here is your mirror. Here is the part of you that has been walking outside yourself. Look, and remember, it is subtle because it does not shout. It is overwhelming because it speaks to the deepest truth of who you are. Dolores often said that Earth is a school, and twin souls come to awaken each other to lessons that cannot be learned alone. The spark, then, is the invitation. It is the opening of the door. Whether you walk through it or not, you will never again be the same person who stood before it. So if you have felt it, the glance that shook you, the touch that lingered, the moment that stretched into eternity, trust it. Do not dismiss it as imagination. It is the subtle, overwhelming spark of recognition. It is the soul whispering, wake up, you have met yourself. Some encounters leave a mark without ever needing to touch the skin. It is as if the air itself carries the memory of an embrace, as if the silence between two people holds more weight than 1,000 spoken words. This is what many describe when they meet the soul that mirrors their own, a touch without hands, a presence that stirs the heart without a single gesture. Dolores Cannon's work often revealed that energy precedes matter. In her Regressions, clients spoke of connections that were felt long before they were acted upon. They described the sensation of standing near someone and feeling their entire body respond, though no contact had been made. It was as if invisible threads wove themselves between two souls, creating a current of recognition that flowed freely, bypassing the limits of physical space. This touch is not physical, yet it is undeniable. It may come through the gaze, eyes locking and refusing to let go. It may come through the sound of a voice, which seems to echo deep inside as if spoken directly to the soul. Sometimes it arrives in stillness, in the quiet comfort of simply being together, where the energy in the air feels almost tangible, like a warmth you can lean into. To the logical mind, this makes little sense. How can the absence of touch feel like the most intimate contact? Yet the soul knows. It remembers that true connection does not rely on hands or bodies. It is energy meeting energy, essence meeting essence. The physical touch may come later, but the real embrace happens in the invisible. Imagine two tuning forks vibrating at the same frequency. Strike one, and the other hums in response, even without contact. This is the silent resonance between twin souls. One moves, and the other feels. One breathes, and the other knows. It is a reminder that love is not confined to what the eyes can see or what the body can hold. This kind of touch awakens something profound. It bypasses defenses, dissolves masks, and goes straight to the center of being. Many describe it as both terrifying and beautiful. Terrifying because it leaves you exposed, beautiful because it reminds you of your truest self. It is not the kind of intimacy that can be staged or faked. It simply happens, and once felt, it cannot be forgotten. Dolores suggested that these moments are planned long before birth. They are part of the soul's contract, small awakenings carefully placed along the journey to remind you of who you are and who walks with you. The touch without hands is one of those awakenings. It is the universe's way of saying, pay attention, something sacred is unfolding. So when you feel it, the gaze that lingers, the voice that vibrates inside you, the silent presence that feels like an embrace, know that you have been touched, not by flesh, but by spirit. And that kind of touch awakens not only love, but the very memory of eternity. There are moments in life when meeting someone feels less like the beginning of a story and more like remembering a story that has always been there. It does not feel new, it feels ancient. It does not feel like discovery, it feels like return. This is what many describe when they encounter their twin soul, a sudden stirring of memories, not from this lifetime alone, but from the timeless archives of the spirit. Dolores Cannon's Regressions often uncovered this truth. Under deep trance, people would speak of meeting souls they had loved across centuries, in different bodies, in different lands. They would recall details that defied logic, the clothes, the voices, the promises whispered in lifetimes long forgotten. And when they woke, they often said that meeting those same souls again in the present felt like stepping into a memory that had been patiently waiting to resurface. The awakening of forgotten memories is rarely dramatic on the outside. It can begin with something simple, the way someone says your name, the curve of their smile, the touch of their hand. Yet inside, it feels like a door swinging open. Suddenly, your heart is flooded with a sense of recognition too vast to explain. You know them. You don't know how, but you know. And the knowing is enough to shake your entire being. This awakening often comes with flashes of déjà vu. You find yourself in places with them and feel you have walked those paths together before. You hear their laughter and remember it as an echo from another life. Even silence between you feels familiar, as though countless conversations have been held in that very quiet. The present moment becomes heavy with eternity, as if time itself has folded in on itself to bring you back to what was once lost. But along with the sweetness of memory comes the weight of unfinished stories. The soul does not only remember joy, it remembers wounds. Sometimes, meeting a twin flame awakens not only love, but also the pain of past separations, betrayals, or promises broken long ago. This is why such encounters can be both blissful and unsettling. The mirror does not filter what it reflects. It brings everything to the surface, light and shadow alike. And yet, this is the gift. These awakenings are not meant to trap you in the past, but to free you from it. By remembering, you are invited to heal. By facing the echoes of old wounds, you are given the chance to transform them into wisdom. Dolores often said that nothing is wasted. Every meeting, every memory, even those carried in silence across lifetimes, has a purpose in the soul's evolution. The awakening of forgotten memories is like finding fragments of yourself scattered across time. When the other half of your soul appears, they gather those fragments and hold them before you like a mirror. It can be overwhelming, yes, but it is also profoundly liberating. For in that remembrance lies the deepest truth. Love is not something you are finding for the first time. It is something you are remembering. So when the memories stir, when the déjà vu of the heart leaves you breathless, trust it. You are not losing your mind. You are finding your soul. And the one before you is not a stranger, but a reminder, the living proof that some loves do not begin because they never ended. When two souls meet as reflections of one another, the experience is not only about sweetness and recognition. The mirror does not show only the light, it also reveals the shadows. This is why the connection between twin souls can feel both heavenly and deeply unsettling. The presence of the other awakens not just joy, but also the wounds and fears carefully hidden away. Dolores Cannon often explained that the soul seeks growth, not comfort. In her sessions, people described encounters that lifted them to unimaginable heights of love, but also forced them to face parts of themselves they had long avoided. The other became a mirror so clear that it left no place to hide. This is the paradox of such love. It gives you the warmth of home, while at the same time exposing every corner of the house that needs to be cleaned. When the mirror is held before you, you may see qualities you admire. Their strength may reflect your own inner courage. Their kindness may awaken your capacity to love more deeply. Their laughter may remind you of the innocence you once carried and lost along the way. In this way, the mirror uplifts, encouraging you to remember your best self. But the same mirror shows the cracks. Their anger may awaken your own hidden rage. Their distance may bring up your fears of abandonment. Their intensity may mirror the doubts you try to silence. It can feel unfair, even cruel, that love so pure could bring so much pain. Yet the pain is not punishment, it is revelation. The shadow was always there, waiting to be seen. The mirror simply makes it impossible to ignore. This rising of both light and shadow is part of the soul's design. Without it, growth would remain incomplete. To recognize the beauty of your soul without facing the darkness would be to walk with half of the truth. The twin flame connection insists on wholeness. It asks you to embrace everything, not only what is comfortable to see. Many find this stage overwhelming. Some run from the mirror, unable to bear the intensity. Others cling desperately, afraid to lose the reflection. But the true path lies in balance, to honor the love while also honoring the lessons. The mirror is not there to trap you, but to free you. By facing both the light and the shadow, you are invited into a deeper healing, one that no ordinary relationship could ever bring. When the mirror within rises, you are given a choice. You can deny what you see and remain unchanged, or you can accept the reflection and begin the work of transformation. It is not easy, but it is sacred. For in learning to love yourself through both your light and your shadow, you discover the essence of unconditional love. The other may be the mirror, but the image is yours. And in embracing it fully, you step closer to the truth that love was never about perfection. It was always about awakening. There are encounters that feel as though they belong to another time. A voice, a gaze, a smile can stir within us a memory we cannot place, as if the past itself is knocking on the door of the present. When two souls who have walked together before meet again, the past does not stay silent. It rises, like a tide, and carries with it the power to reshape the future. Dolores Cannon's work revealed that many of the relationships we live in this lifetime are not new. They are continuations, threads woven across centuries, carrying lessons and promises from one life into another. When you meet someone who awakens something deep within you, it may not be the start of a story, but the continuation of one. The soul recognizes where the mind cannot, and that recognition changes everything. The past awakens in subtle ways. It may appear as déjà vu, a sense that you have been here before. It may show itself in dreams, where you walk in places unfamiliar to your present life, yet strangely known to your heart. Sometimes it comes as an overwhelming comfort, a peace that feels like home, even in the arms of a stranger. Other times it brings a sudden wave of sorrow, as if you are mourning something you cannot name. These are echoes of lives lived before, resurfacing to remind you that love does not die with the body. But the past does not return simply to be remembered. It comes with purpose. Old patterns resurface so that they can finally be broken. Old wounds rise so they can finally be healed. In this way, the meeting of twin souls becomes a bridge, carrying the lessons of yesterday into the transformation of tomorrow. The love you once lived becomes the seed of the life you are meant to create now. This is why such connections feel both heavy and light at the same time. Heavy because they carry the weight of history. Light because they point toward a future filled with growth and renewal. The soul does not bring the past forward to imprison you, but to release you. What was unfinished is given another chance, what was broken is offered healing, and what was promised is remembered. The awakening of the past is not meant to distract you from the present, but to deepen it. It is the reminder that your story is larger than this single lifetime, and that love, once awakened, continues to ripple through time. When two souls meet again, they are not only remembering who they were, they are being invited to step into who they can become. The past awakens the future by showing that the line between them does not exist. Time folds in on itself, and the soul walks in circles that are really spirals, always returning but never in the same place. What you feel today is not only the echo of what was, but the call to what is yet to be. There is a kind of love that does not belong to the calendar or the clock. It does not begin on a certain day, nor does it end with the closing of a chapter. It flows quietly beneath lifetimes, carrying souls from one existence to another. This is eternal love, the bond that twin flames embody, the love that survives distance, silence, and even death. Dolores Cannon's Regressions often revealed this truth. People spoke of recognizing faces across centuries, of promises made under different skies, of vows that could not be broken even by the passing of time. They remembered how souls returned to one another again and again, sometimes as lovers, sometimes as friends, sometimes only as fleeting encounters, but always with a thread that never snapped. Separation may feel final to the human heart, but to the soul it is only an illusion. Even when two twin flames walk apart, the bond remains alive. It lingers in dreams, in sudden thoughts, in signs that appear when least expected. The connection is not sustained by presence, but by essence. It is carried in the quiet spaces where longing and memory meet. Eternal love is not always easy. It does not promise a life free from trials or sorrow. In fact, it often demands growth that feels painful and change that feels impossible. Yet this too is part of its nature. Love that endures beyond time does so because it is rooted in truth, and truth will not allow illusions to remain. To live such love is to understand that togetherness and separation are only conditions of the physical world. The real union lies deeper, where souls meet in silence, where distance does not exist. Sometimes the purpose is to walk side by side, building a life in the present. Other times, the purpose is to awaken each other and then continue separately, carrying the light of that recognition into different paths. Both serve the same truth, that love cannot be confined. In the end, eternal love is not about possession but remembrance. It is the recognition that what binds two souls has no beginning and no end. Whether close or apart, whether in this life or another, the connection remains. It is the whisper that says, across all distances, you are part of me, and I am part of you. Thank you for walking with us until the very end of this journey. If these words touched something within you, let them continue to echo by liking, sharing, and subscribing. You help this circle of souls grow wider. Every connection, every reflection, brings us closer to remembering the light we all carry. Until we meet again, keep listening to the whispers of your soul.